And we have main board inside to couple the setting parameter. And then we check it and make a plan, calibrate the flow master and change the flow master from can line. Yeah, we call the customer service and request them calibrate our flow master. This is the report. So we know our flow master in good condition. And for ensure the flow master is good, we change new one from scan line and collect data. With this diagram, so we know the yield of CO2 maintained in 70%. Thus, so we know the flow goes in all region. As next slide, Mr. Chung will be pressed to you.
Okay. So Medica is talking you about number one, number two. We have to check the leaking point. The flow rate is also in a good condition. And the last one is the CO2 released to mud. And the question is how much the CO2 released to environment. The total mass of the CO2 released to environment is equal to the mass of the CO2 released per ton, multiplied with the number of releasing. We call it the N and F. And this formula shows the relationship with the two factors. And we calculate in 1,000 cases. We can calculate that the mass of the CO2 released per ton is equal 0.24 kilogram. And there are 200 times that the CO2 released to environment. And of course, finally we get the total mass of the CO2 released to environment is the 48 kilogram in 1,000 cases. It means that we produce 1,000 cases, we release the 48 kilogram to environment. But that is the theory number. We have to verify with the reality. And this is the report from the utility department. And here we get the average number of the mass of CO2 released is 45.6 kilogram. It's nearly the same with the number 48 kilogram that we calculated. This means that the formula that we distribute is correct. And then we take a look at the yield of the CO2. It remains at the 70%. It's lower than we expected. And because of that, we turn back to the step 5 to find out the root cause to keep improving. If we want to improve the CO2 release, we have to reduce the number of releasing and mass of the CO2 release per ton. We have the notebook 4 and notebook 5. With the notebook 4, let me explain a little bit. So, there is the difference between the flow rate CO2 inlet flow and the fast. And keep remember, the CO2 just released to environment when the syrup inside the filter valve goes to the low level. And when the flow rate of the CO2 is fast, it means that the syrup will up and down, up and down. It means that the amplitude of the syrup is so wide. In contrast, if the CO2 flow rate is slow, it means the syrup nearly not change. The syrup level inside the valve nearly not change. It means that the CO2 doesn't release to environment. And we realize that. We realize this point. And if we want to have less time of releasing, the flow rate of the CO2 should be slow. And how can we do that? How can we reduce the flow rate of CO2 inlet? We reduce the area where the CO2 pass over the inlet valve. To reduce this, we increase the diameter of this shaft from 5 mm to the 8.1 mm. This was calculated this software. Yeah. And then we take action, make a plan to do this either in the first week and second week in October. Here is the picture, so that we are discussing to find out problem, to make a drawing, and then take an action. Here we are creating a new shaft for this one. with the notebook file, the mass of the CO2 released per time. Here you can see that the volume of the syrup goes from the low level to the high level is equal to the volume of the CO2 released to environment. And what will happen if we adjust the high setting point lower? Adjust the high setting point lower. Of course, the volume of the CO2 released to environment is also lower. Because of that, we set a new height of the syrup inside the volume, inside the filler bulb, and the new value is the 63 mm compared to the 100 mm in the previous time. And then we check the timeline to do with the same with the action 4. In October, we measuring the height of the syrup in the filler. We use RAM to adjust the attitude to control the CO2 inlet front here. And after action 4 and action 5, we reduce the numbering of the listing, we reduce the mass of CO2 release per time. Finally, we have a new total the CO2 released to environment. It's 11.2 kilogram compared to the previous time, the 48 kilogram. In 1,000 cases, remember. And after that, we verify with the factory, with the reality also. And this number, average number that we get, 11.56 compared to 11.2. It means that we take a correct action, effective action. And now, we also take a look at the yield of the CO2. It right now is 86.72%. That's a great number. Okay. With this diagram, we can see that overall we can increase the CO2 yield from the 70 to more than is 82.2%. Is nearly 10%, within 1 week. From the first to the 8th October. And this diagram shows you we have a downtrend from the May to September of the 2017. And then right at the September and October we take the action, and we have a big jump from the 57 to 80.27%. And the most important that we can reduce the total mass of the CO2 released to the environment is from the 48 kilogram to the 11.2 kilogram. And after do all the action, we are writing and a standard for the SOP to show for the technician how to replace, how to fix it, how to create a new one for the inlet one. And also we use marking on the actuator for everyone can see it in the filler. And then we also make a training to make the new preventive maintenance plan. Also establish a new maintenance job order to checking the leaking point for every week, every month. The tangible result. 320 million Vietnam is the money we can save in the 6 months. Besides that, we can increase the knowledge of the importance of the GEPA on site. The problem solving skill is also improvement. Intangible result. Here we see the Kaizen, we can improve the environment in the working place. Because you know, if the CO2 concentrate in the atmosphere get higher, this can make the people more difficult for breathing and headache. And you cannot focus on the working anymore. It lasts for a long time. This can make for not good for your health. And not also in the working environment. We can't protect the environment also, global also, because the CO2 like a blanket in the global. So the heat gets trapped inside of the earth. It cannot go outside. It means that it can make the earth more become too warm. It can cause many disasters, for example, the flood, the fire, jungle, earthquake. And we're so proud we can do a little bit, not much but meaningful. And the last step, we can deploy the carbon culture to everyone in my factory. The last one is the challenge for the near future. We want to install a new pump, a new level switch to control the cycle from the compression tank to the filler valve. And we also want to install a new pressure to control the inlet fuel to inlet valve. And then we want to deploy to the RGB line.